High River subdivision. I'm Ian, and this is going to be layout update number 19. It's been a while since we've addressed the situation of the layout. I wanted to do this last week, but unfortunately I went into work on Tuesday after the holiday, and because of the bad thunderstorms that rolled through New Jersey, I ended up working a lot of hours Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I didn't get home till Saturday morning at 9 a.m. A lot of doubles. So nice thing about that is had a little extra money for trains. So before we get into the layout update, Tyler, Lackawanna Railfan, if you don't follow him, go give him a look at his channel. He had messaged me and let me know that there was 2 locomotives I might be interested in the consignment bin at a hobby shop that's nearest, Trains and Lanes, which I showed some items I bought from there previously. They were fantasy schemed engines for the Lehigh in New England, so I had to went down and I did end up purchasing them. So I want to thank you, Tyler, for that, because I love these engines. So I got the cab control here. We're going to just roll these engines across the viaduct. You can get a look at them. We'll take a better look, and we'll jump into what has changed here in the layout room and on the layout since we last did a look over. So let's jump into that. There's the Lehigh in New England Alco C628, and let's take a better look at some of the items I bought when I went to get these at Trains and Lanes. I went down Monday because I took off, well, yesterday. I'm recording this on Tuesday, and you probably won't see this till Wednesday or Thursday, but on Monday I was at Trains and Lanes. I had taken off to rest for an extra day before I went back to work today. So let's get into it. So let's start off with the locomotives Tyler recommended me to take a look at. These are custom painted Atlas C628 Alcos in the Lehigh in New England scheme. The Lehigh in New England was an anthracite railroad, one of the lesser known ones, and it ran from Tamaqua, Pennsylvania to Maybrook, New York. It was actually has a very interesting history if you want to look up and read on it. They mostly had Alco FAs and RS2s in the diesel era. The railroad ripped up the whole line in 1961 while they were still profitable. They weren't in the negative, but they decided to call it quits. Most of the line was ripped up, and the cement belt region in Nazareth, Pennsylvania that they owned was sold off to the CNJ, which eventually went to Lehigh Valley and Conrail. So these engines, I've gone ahead and went and painted the rails yellow, the safety yellow. I will throw a picture up here in the corner to show you what these engines look like when I first got them. I painted the fuel tank flat black because it was more like a flat gray and it didn't look right. So I painted both fuel tanks flat black, put the yellow safety on the grab handles to go up into the cab and up the back there. So I did that on both. They're numbered 144 and 145. 144 has a nose light and 145 does not. I went ahead and added TCS AMD4 decoders into these 2 engines right away. I'm going to order 2 more. I have 2 more Atlas engines to put those decoders into. So I will get you a video on how to install the TCS AMD4 into an Atlas locomotive. So now that we gave you a little history on these locomotives, I want to show you the other items I picked up at Trains and Lanes before we hop into the layout update. So while I was picking up the engines, I decided I wanted to pick up 2 more of these Lehigh Valley Piggyback cars. I already picked one up, so I got the last 2 they had. Even though they have the same numbers, I'll just renumber them. And then I decided I liked both these tank cars, so I picked these up. And what was really nice when I was checking out, or going back to pick up the locomotives, because we had tested them and then put them back in the shell, and I set them on the counter while I went to look at this stuff and pick this out. The guy said he could do better. He took these cars, I didn't even ask for it, and he wrote some new prices on here. So I got both these tank cars for $15.99 a piece. and I got both these for $12.59 a piece, and that was really awesome. Like, I didn't expect that at all, and that was really nice because it helped me out in saving some money. So I got those, and I was at Trains and Lanes the week before Tyler told me about those locomotives, before they were there, and I picked up, this is another one of the Trainworks 89-foot boxcars. You saw I had the all silver one. When I bought that one, I had mentioned about the one with the red door. Well, I went back for the one with the red door. I couldn't leave it there. This was the last one. They had two before, so I'm glad I went back when I did. I really like the one with the red door. And I actually found the prototype pictures of those in real life. There was only 10, I think, of those silverish gray colored NS 89-foot boxcars. And then I also picked up this coil car. This is an Atlas. It's not a Masterline. The box doesn't say it, but it's like Masterline quality. And this is a Kansas City Southern coil car. I really like this paint scheme, and wanted another one of these modern looking coil cars. So that's the new rolling stock. That is my plaster and spackle mess that I need to clean up. You can see I got my water, my brushes, and all that. I made one heck of a mess. But if you recall, I'll put a picture up here of what all this looked like before. But I went ahead and plastered in here, built up the bike path, I sanded it, and then when there was chunks missing out, I came back through with drywall mud and just smoothed it out so I could get that nice smooth contour for my bike path. I formed up some plaster onto here for my rock wall, so we will be doing these stones like over there all the way around to some point right in here. You can see that I'm getting a shadow because I'm blocking the light. Sorry. Let me come around and see if I can. You can see how the wall starts to come up in there. So the wall ends somewhere in here. So that's what I was mostly working on. It did take some time to do this with sanding and forming and sanding and forming, because I kind of had to build it up with the plaster in there to get the contour I wanted, because that slopes down as the track slopes up here. And if you see as the train goes by here, this is where the Woodland Scenics risers are located at, and that comes up through here, and I actually plastered that into place. Let me see if I can get it to focus there. So right there you can see how the track's sitting up, and there it's not. So I gotta come through this section of foam. It's this piece from here to here. The outside here needs to be filled in a little bit to level it up. So that's what I've been doing, is working this track through this section and getting it really level to where it needs to be. And then I'll be ready to drop some feeders down through on this track, so it's ready for wiring. So that is the update in the river area. I got a little narrowed down in here, but my river's not going to be completely down at the flat part here. I'm going to actually have it up higher, and it's going to raise up twice on its way up to where it's going to go back into there. So it's going to be done in 3 parts basically. I think that'll make it easier for pouring, so I would start pouring in the back, and then whatever overflows in the second one, you start your next pour, it'll hide that previous pour, is what I've seen in videos. So I really haven't done anything else in any other area on the layout. I do need to start figuring out what I want to do up in here. I do have a plan. I'm not going to get into that in this update, or it's just going to drag it out. So that's going to be a future layout update, but I have a plan for this area. Moving down along here, you can just see the yard. Still have lots to do over in this area. I spent most of the night before recording these clips customizing that engine with the fuel tanks and the yellow handrails. I'm so happy I did. I really like how it looks like that. But anyway, getting sidetracked here. Moving along, not much. I want to get the tracks in for this. I don't know what I'm going to do in here, but I think I'm going to put a couple industries on this inside here. There's the ESU cab control. It's when you don't touch it for a while, it goes off. And the train's just running on its own for a while now. And one other thing I got a lot done on was I got rid of the bar. So that opened up that whole area, which I've told you I'm going to build an addition out there, but that's not going to be for a while. I got enough to keep me busy in here, especially with this river. I'll be much happier when I get to the riverbed. I just got to do some learning on that because I'm not so sure I know exactly what to do to create the river I imagine. But that sounds right. But that is going to be it for layout update number 19. Hopefully by layout update 20 I'll have the stone in on here and the cap wall like that, and maybe I'll be starting to work on that. Who knows? My mind changes on what I want to work on. Sometimes you feel like working on plaster, sometimes you feel like working on locomotives, sometimes you feel like laying track. I don't know, that's the nice thing about model railroading. You don't always have to do the same thing, kind of jump around. As long as you're working on it, it's progress, right guys? Alright, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you down the tracks.